Rasa dah semua, kita start lah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safwah binti Mohamed Kamil. Actually, today I'm just sharing about the surface of my research study. Actually, this topic I use to do the poster during the MLA award last year. So my topic today is a contemporary Islamic garden based on Quranic paradise imagery. The focus is more on the guideline for the plant in Islamic garden. The introduction. Over the past few decades, Islamic civilization brought dramatic change to the landscape in populated. The Islamic Empire covered from the 7th to 16th century. This according to Safwah. It started from the establishment of the first Islamic state in Medina, and then picked off to the Ottoman Empire. The Islamic civilization dominated an era covered half the world and shaped the history of our human race, according to the Spahi Omar 2005. The development of the Islamic garden expanded from area to area, and then some of the remaining evidence managed to preserve, such as our beautiful General Life Alhambra in Spain, Mughal Garden, and then Taj Mahal in India. Among the significant of Islamic garden during the Islamic civilization that remain is a legacy of the influence era of Islamic sovereignty. However, the physical evidence may have gradually diminished due to the change of period and the fall of Islamic governance, especially after the Ottoman Empire. So, according to Jani, the Islamic garden is started from the around 5th century. That's before the pre-Islamic era, and then continue until the 16th to 17th century for the establishment of the Mughal garden during that time, and then also the Persian garden. After that time, we call as interference of the modern movement in our Islamic garden. So, if we look at these images, actually, this a few Islamic garden well known as our famous Islamic garden in our world, which is in Spain, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, India, and Iran. But in Islamic garden field, actually we adapt more on a Persian garden, which is from the Iran area. Okay, next. Okay, for my study, this is my issue and problem statement. Traditionally, Islamic garden is a place of rest and reflection of reminder of paradise. But according to Hamid, Islamic garden should design with specific intention in mind, applying certain ideology, principle, and objective root in the Islamic faith and Muslim culture using distinct design element. But nowadays, Islamic garden portray just surface and limitation of the element reflected and mentioned in the Quran, such as the plants, seating, shelter, entrance, climate, and the color. The concept of existing Islamic garden today is based on the periodization of history and focus more on the design aspect. This according to Jannah 2050. Majority of Islamic garden have influenced by the historical and traditional Islamic garden that majority from Iran, Mughal and Spain. This suggests that the development of the Islamic garden are well known and recognized by the whole world. From our country perspective, through the effort of the current and previous our Prime Minister, Dr. Mohamed, is discovered that Malaysia is the transition process of the creating an Islamic environment, and then this process is continue until our time. This according to Jani et al. 2014. So, this issue suggests that the lacking of understanding and appreciation of Islamic garden due to the inadequate reference and physical evidence from the Quranic Islamic principle perspective. So, there is a need to improve garden in Malaysia that can reflect the ideology of Islamic design principle and Quranic paradise imagery in order to creating Malaysia as our own design identity. So my research aim.
Nampak.
Okay. The aim of study is the aim of this study is actually to establish a contemporary Islamic garden based on applying ideology, principle, Islamic faith and Quranic paradise imagery to enhance our garden in Malaysia. So objective 1 is to define the vegetation of paradise feature in detail from the Quranic paradise imagery through two tafsir. I use tafsir Ibn Qasir and then tafsir Fizil Quran. Objective 2, to examine and translate the tree of paradise feature from the both Quran tafsir into design of Malaysia Islamic garden. And then the third objective is to evaluate Islamic design characteristic of contemporary Islamic garden for an existing garden in Malaysia. These are my method for this study. I use qualitative research method. First, the data collection method is discourse analysis, which is a comparison meaning of paradise between Islamic scholar explanation. And then the second one is content analysis from the literature review. And then the third one from the method one, from the data collection from 1 and 2, I produce some conceptual Islamic garden framework, and then method 3 will validate the information from the previous data collection. And then from the after the validation, it will become the Islamic garden framework or guideline for our contemporary Islamic garden. But today this one is just focus on the plant because I still do my research. So this just a surface of my research. So the data analysis and finding from that data collection throughout the understanding of both tafsir, those kind of vegetation from Quranic paradise imagery from the selected surah have been recognized and list out. So okay, these are the data I collect from the both tafsir, and then I list out all the vegetation from all related surah, and then I list down the characteristic, I do the analysis, what the element from the characteristic we can get, and then we can get the design criteria from this characteristic. Okay, so from this data we convert into this one more simpler. Okay, for example, because this one I just focus on the plant element and characteristic. So from this verses we can get the design characteristic. For example, the shape, the leaf, the size, the fruit, the color, the flower trunk, the reproduction, and then shade, time of waiting. This one actually I generate from this data. So from this guideline, we can use as a quick botanical key to find a similar looking species or similar looking character. We can use in our Islamic garden. Okay, from this finding, this expected that at the end of study, a guideline for vegetation for Islamic garden principle based on applying the Quranic paradise imagery can be formulated. And then in the same way as a water, vegetation also important in Quranic paradise garden. This important is emphasized by many hadiths and Sufi poetry. Through this Quranic description, we see that all the vegetation refer to equally the earthly garden and vegetable patch as the garden of the Mediterranean or Middle East variety. But we can adapt it to the local ecology of the region in which the message was revealed, such as in Arabic Peninsula. So for Malaysia context, maybe we can search the similar characteristic like in the verses of in Al-Quran, and then we can design our own identity for Islamic garden. Okay, that's all. Because this is just the surface of my study, so this I just focus to plan. So then this just the contribution lah for the no, this I do this research during the master, and then for PhD this for my master, and then for PhD this more detail for the Islamic garden characteristic.
Meaning that your finding is already established.
No, master convert.
Dia kan convert. Dia convert. Jadi master dia dah finding dah tu.
Lebih kurang.
Tapi
tak ada on paper lah.
Yang differentnya apa nama antara
Master and PhD. Master just guna Quran, tafsir. And then the focus is more on element, general element macam water, planting, apa lagi? Just surface lah. And then for the PhD supported by hadis. Sebab hadis lagi detail, can support the Quran punya ni verses, and then karakteristik lah, dia lagi detail, maknanya non physical ke physical ke, the environment, the surrounding, people inside the paradise. So daripada situ akan keluarkan lebih kurang macam planting ni, akan keluarkan design kriteria, and then akan jadi guideline for the mungkin our future Islamic garden, contemporary Islamic garden.
So meaning that your master is all about the framework. You just identify things. And then when you PhD you are extended of the development.
think normally when we talk about this is for the awareness. When we use surah and so on,
Mhm.
we have a problem regarding the interpretation. Interpretation. The word in Islamic we call it tafsir.
Mhm.
We should get a real person
Mhm.
regarding the tafsir.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to know the method of tafsir.
Mhm.
Tak boleh setakat ambil surah-surah itu kata ni banyak betul ni.
Mhm.
Tapi tafsiran itu cannot just simply
Mhm.
tafsir.
Mhm.
Okay. Then it's talking about between the surah and also the application.
Mhm.
And how are you going to apply the understanding from the surah, you know, to reality, for example.
Mhm.
And then you mentioned about contemporary Islamic garden.
Mhm.
You talk about contemporary Islamic garden, they have some kind of what we call it time frame. And how do you mean by contemporary?
Mhm.
Because Islamic garden is not contemporary.
Mhm.
Islamic garden
It's
actually
infinity. It's infinity.
Mhm.
daripada dulu sampai sekarang kan?
Forever until we go to Jannah, insyaAllah. So that would be the real Firdausi, Garden of
Real
Firdausi.
paradise.
How many references that you have in order for you to refer? For reference, I think how many scholars as well
Oh.
that interpret all this garden?
Kita pernah baca Syed Hussein Nas.
Oh, for the LR, the general information, I have to uh, read about the history, the design, but that one normally written by the written by the English people, Western scholar. So that one is
Okay, I think it's quite, fundamentally it's quite useful in the sense that you should develop this thing
mhm,
based from certain kind of literature. And then that literature must compose within the Islamic scholars punya
mhm,
background.
mhm,
Macam talking about contemporary Islamic garden. Okay, siapa nak guna ayat?
mhm,
You should refer to Al-Faruqi,
Dia macam Faruqi, kalau kita Syed Hussein Nas,
Gaza Haidar,
Syed Nakir,
Gaza Haidar, architects.
Dalil Bakhtiar.
You looking you refer to the Muslim scholar, not Western scholar.
Mhm.
Because Western scholar they're looking at the tangible, they're looking at the physical. But when the Muslim scholar they're looking to the hidden things so intangible things on the soul, on the spiritual, on the emotion. They will try to describe in that manner rather than just a physical and something that you can touch, tangible things. So looking into that.
Have you heard that this Pelanggan text by Nadir Adalan?
Nadir
Bakhtiar.
So Sufism.
I mean, yes, they can relate because they also mentioned about the contemporary. Jadi, in this case, how do you stand or position the concept of contemporary that's Islamic garden?
mhm,
We have to put the position dulu.
mhm,
Sebab contemporary, the meaning of contemporary is current.
mhm,
Dia katakan current je tadi. Because at the end, they relate to identity dan sebagainya.
mhm,
Okay. The basic understanding is you want to use surah. And then is it any sample or model that surah been applied to design into reality? Ada tak?
Oh, for example, okay, I found this one. It's quite interesting. Actually, this one, just maybe the flower show.
Besarkan sikit.
This one I
This is
think
about Islamic garden.
the prototype of the Islamic garden.
Still again,
but
symbolism.
but this one they use more on the Arabic or Arabic culture lah. Arabic heritage and
Who
culture.
are the owner of this garden?
Is a pavilion apa ni?
No,
Flower
dia flower
show.
show. Dia macam Floria tu.
Chelsea.
So this is Iran ke Iraq ke mana?
This one dia punya landscape architect dia Kamil Zaal. Saya tak baca lagi background.
Al-Barari. Ida? Is this Iran or Iraq?
I just don't get what you mean by Arabic culture. What you mean by
That's very good. That's very
what
good.
do you mean? Where is
Now we have
culture?
Arabic people and they ask us what do you mean with Arabic culture?
Where the Arabic culture represented?
Okay. I think this would be a very good start for our intellectual discourse today. So thank you Arina for Safwah for selalu tertukar di tengah Safwah kan. Thank you Safwah. Selalu tertukar dengan Arina. Thank you for sparkling us with a new topic for us to discuss today about the elements, the plants in Islamic garden. We see symbolism, and we are very lucky to have Hida here from Iraq. So then whatever things that has been tangled in our discussion for so long, because we're talking only among each other, so can maybe be resolved today during our discussion. So this is very good, the idea of Islamic garden, because to us here in Malaysia, when we talk about Islamic garden, the first thing you should see is actually the dome, the shapes of the dome, the archway. So if let's say you have the archway, yes, that's Islamic garden. If you don't have the archway with the dome or whatnot, that's not an Islamic garden.
So the swing also have a dome.
Yes, so dome is a necessity. That's why in the first glance, you see the first glance, okay, that is Islamic garden. So it's very symbolism, very material oriented philosophy, which is actually in contrary to what we learn in Al-Quran. Okay, so that's why our today's discussion is actually to see what is actually an Islamic garden. But whatever Arina just presented just now is just to spark our Safwah's presentation to spark our discussion. Okay, if I may go back to your the understanding of Islamic garden and the references that we have been using for so long in architecture study, in landscape architecture study. So we have been referring to Taj Mahal, to Iran, Isfahan, and then some
Taj Mahal.
Satu lagi tu yang dekat mana tadi references kita tu?
What is your research question, Safwah?
Research question for PhD. For PhD, my issue
Dekat Alhambra dekat Spain. Alhambra dekat Spain. Kejap. Cuma when I went to Iran, and in fact if you look at Iran, the Islamic garden in Iran, the idea of the garden is not actually for it is basically royal garden. The origins of the gardens are basically the royal garden. And they always created this garden in order to celebrate human being. For example, Taj Mahal. So and then Taj Mahal, the original design by Shah Jahan was actually only the building, the makam, the it's not a mosque, the makam, the tomb building. The garden was actually created by British people later, once they came into India. So how Islamic is the garden? Has anyone ever questioned about that? Okay, and so similarly in Iran, one garden, Fin Garden in Iran, was also developed with due love and passion and obsession towards the queen. So that when the queen passed away, so I built the garden. Once again, it is not for Allah, it's for people. Taj Mahal is for people. Alhambra is basically an educational center. Betul tak kan? It's an educational center. So how much I don't, it is quite different compared to in Iran and also in Taj Mahal, but Taj Mahal, Alhambra is okay because it is education center per se. I couldn't comment much about that because I didn't study a lot on Alhambra. But then what I mean here is understanding of Islamic garden itself is very cliche. See? Because if let's say we have the principles or the framework, Islamic garden has to be a garden that reflect your connection with Allah. How much these gardens that we have been referring for so long, having that kind of quality, emotion, spiritual connection.
May I interrupt you?
Yes, yeah, no, not interaction. We
may
are
I
discussing.
comment here? Okay, may I add here? Okay.
Yes, please.
What the question is why we need something to be called Islamic in order to design that garden.
Fantastic.
Okay. From my idea, I don't think it's necessary. So garden everywhere is garden. There's a water, there's a plantation, there are people there, and there are animals who pass by the place like birds, everything. So it's create that environment still be called a garden. It's a garden. Whether it's a Islamic, I don't think it's a refer to garden only specifically on garden. But if we want to put our what they call fingerprint or our design to be an Islamic, most of the time maybe you see in the Persian region or the Arabic region, they usually use the geometrical patterns to use or to design only the plan, what they call the site of the garden. Not sure how that is really related to Allah or anything. Maybe it's related to the region itself. So when you see that, okay, that one is designed in that specific area. That design is in Malaysia and by someone to call to refer to Islam or something. But I still think the symbolic is not that really necessary to say that I designed something to be connected to Allah or something. But yeah, the geometrical patterns, yes, and still even the you don't show me with the Allah symbol or the name of Allah, the sculpture, it's also forbidden in Islam, right? Anything to represent something is still forbidden, except for the calligraphy. Calligraphy was developed by the time. Also, there was not the calligraphy by the time. That time it was encouraged by Hadith and the Prophet Mohamed because they were writing the Quran. Yeah, so also my question is that when you refer to the Arab culture, that one is referred to Arab culture. Why that garden specifically was referring to Arab culture? What do you understand from the Arab culture? What do they understand, not you? Because you are not the one who designed.
Okay. Actually, Islamic garden, we normally relate with the Arab culture because actually from my reading, the Quran reveal actually for the Arabic people. So the term in the Quran, in the Quranic way, they use maybe for example in Arab they have a date tree during that time. So or said in paradise we have this kind of plant, for example like this date tree or banana tree. They want just to make they understand, easy understand the word from Allah.
For us to visualize Quran with whatever we have on the earth at the moment.
Because paradise actually is beyond our imagination, but Allah want to we think about the paradise. So because the paradise is our journey to paradise, right? So maybe that's why we relate Islamic garden relate to the Arabic culture. Because for example this garden, okay, they put the cushion. This one actually the culture of Arabic people. They sit on like this style. For the Western, maybe they prefer use the coffee table, or that's my
Using that in Persian also.
hmm?
Iran using that also. More than Arab.
Persian is actually is the group of Arab.
No, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Persian is
That's what I
Persian,
mean.
Arab
That's what I
is Arab.
mean.
You must understand the Persian is a Persian, Arab is Arab.
That's
That's right. If you answer that, your whatever you will die.
Okay. Sorry.
They are studying different language. You confused.
You are in,
Kan kita kebincangan ni syok ke bincang.
actually you are in the dangerous situation.
Yang
Because you don't have a thorough text. Another, I quite agree with our brother here. Use of the term Islamic garden or whatever it is, previously, there's no sample or module talk about Islamic garden. If we had, for example, like, I'm sure Rasulullah SAW has cute certain kind of thing. But we don't have any model from him regarding the Islamic garden. We talk about all the natural is beautiful. And okay, being the Surah Ar-Rahman, okay, everything that been created you cannot deny, something like that. I mean, all these kind of things, especially in our context, the thing that we follow right now is actually from the Arabic, but you don't know about how this thing merge into our society. Okay, if you look at the Masjid Kampung Laut, all this kind of stuff, they never use all this kind of mihrab. It's a real Nusantara regarding with the archipelago kind of environment. Okay. And yet we have also have richness kind of architecture, but we don't accept that kind of thing. We talk about Islamic Arabic, Islamic Arabic. Even for example in Iraq, they have a very fantastic hanging garden. They never call it Islamic garden.
It's Muslim dan Islam. People is Muslim behind Napoleon.
They have the ultimate empire during that time, we were very fantastic. And then during that time, it's talking about power and glorified. For example, like Taj Mahal, Spain, Samarkand, all this is actually belong to the royal family. And all that thing is not for the worship. It's a place for worship. It's a place for cemetery. Okay.
Maybe I want to.
You were stopping me from talking.
What is your title actually? Because never I pose you a research question. What is the issue and
the issue.
You nak achieve apa? What kind of thing that you want to achieve?
The issue actually nowadays Islamic garden just portray the surface or just the limitation of the element from the Quran.
Tapi
So
PhD ni tak kaji dia elemen-elemen ni. You are more in term of the thinking process,
Yang tadi tu bagus betul. From the elements, talking kita contest, kita kena contest that Islamic garden lah kan. Islamic garden is solely basis on typology and elements symbolism. Kalau you dapat contest dalam PhD tu bagus.
Yes, that's why my output actually contemporary Islamic garden ni no need to use the symbolism of because the historical or traditional Islamic garden they use many symbolism of the paradise imagery. But I want to implement into just into our design, the design criteria, but not the symbolic of the
symbolic part of
Then what kind of thing that you want to take? Only the element.
the overall, the surrounding, the design, because for Islamic garden we want actually a place to remind of our paradise, God. So I want to create that environment. Yes.
I want to know during your literature review, investigation, or the conclusion from all your literature review, have you found any relationship between Islamic guardian and ablution area? When you create Islamic guardian, you expect, you say, to remind people of Allah, but hence we still don't find any space to pray there.
Yeah.
The place is open space, right? So it's perfect for praying because you can pray wherever you want, but you still cannot find any specific area to tell people that you can pray here and the direction of Qibla is there and there is the ablution area. Have you find any guarding
Facilitating
design?
that,
Facilitating. It's not, no, I'm not talking about enclosure, I'm about space, closed area. Guarding, only guarding with ablution area, an open space, not a room.
Normally Islamic garden is famous with the water feature element, right? That one, some garden they use the water element as a ablution for the ablution.
Do you have any?
For example, in Spain, this one, Alhambra, in Spain.
Satu soalan, one question that I want to pose. There is a garden, as you say. Is there any Christian garden? Is there any Buddhist garden? Is there any Hindu gardens? And I want to know, who call it Islamic garden? Can you give me the chronology? Who established the Islamic garden by name? Who
start use the term of Islamic garden? Okay.
Literature review. Is it by the Muslim scholar or is it by the Western scholar? Since when? What century? So this Islamic garden being called out as Islamic garden. Before that, maybe they just call Andalusian garden or Moroccan garden. But
Sunatani garden.
Actually, from my understanding, Islamic garden actually they come from the Islamic City Foundation. So at the time of Medina, not Madinah.
Medina is not in Madinah. Medina is in Morocco.
Medina, during that time, they already used the term of Islamic City, and then from there's the Islamic City. Medina. And then from the establishment of that Islamic City, because previous century they used the function of Islamic garden actually for the royal, like you talked before, right? For the royal, for the place area, for the
aristocratic.
So from that, and they create the Islamic courtyard and Islamic.
That's what I said. When you said the Islamic courtyard,
they call
that's right. Remember,
is it the person that used that garden because they are Muslim, or maybe that garden was created by the Muslim person, or that belongs to the Muslim community? That's why they call it Islamic.
Okay, can I refer, for example, to Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah SAW gathering area, right? Which is actually only covered with date palm front, and then it's open, but that's a place where Rasulullah SAW meeting with community, perform solah, and in fact that was the first place where Bilal bin Rabah perform azan. So can we call that kind of setting and elements inside as an Islamic garden?
Ataupun Cina dekat luar tu kan, laman luar kan,
Islamic
tak boleh dia panggil Islamic sebab itu menjadi dah.
Ibu negara yang membuat ni, Taman Tugu Negara is Islamic. They spend 250 million. Is it Islamic?
No, actually we go for planning, city planning acts. We are not supposed to have any statue because statue is prohibited in Islam. But now, especially after, it is not supposed to be even a tall structure.
Other than the minaret.
Doctor.
So now Tugu Negara has already something which is against Islamic rules, principles. So that will be, and that is the core point of the garden. So that's why when you have that kind of framework, then only it can be a yardstick. Whether so, I could say our garden, which is in our faculty, is more Islamic than Tugu Negara Garden. See, you see, because Tugu Negara has something which is not accordance, contradict to Islamic
Anda
rules.
tahu tak apa benefit of this type?
Itu nak tanya cuma research question tadi tu. Your research question actually is an issue.
Cuma cerita saya Islamic Garden.
Is it an issue that you want to establish?
Adakah kita membuat
character?
study in the sense that kita akan bertambah keimanan, jadi seorang alim dan sebagainya.
Sepatutnya gitu lah. Sepatutnya gitu.
Bertambah tawadu.
Ya, gitu.
Dunia dan akhirat dan seterusnya.
Ya, betul.
Kalau
You have to
itu
show it
kita
here.
and then satu Islamic Garden kan, satu lagi orang sufi ni pun dia ada garden dia tau.
Ya.
Dalam hati rekaman.
Orang sufi ni, saya pergi ke Bahkan kan, dia ada satu perkumpulan orang-orang sufi. Garden dia
Bahkan tu kat mana? Kat mana sih?
Macedonia.
Macedonia.
Macedonia, Albania, sampai ke Croatia, sampai ke Bosnia.
Bosnia, yes. Yes.
Okay. Dan banyak katakan lama rumah-rumah orang-orang sufi ni situ kan, di mana first kali dia buat macam dewan tau. Dewan tu open, lepas tu dia buat saluran air dan sebagainya. And then they talking about relating to the zikir kan. Baru nampak ini ayat kata Islamic Garden ni because of Samarkand, Persian dah jadi lain dah. It's not talking about Islamic pun. Dia start, kalau you tengok kan, dia daripada Zarustan macam-macam kan. You have to very careful. Kita ni main rebat taram kan, ambil lah benda tu semua because, tapi kita tak nampak what's the orang kata the spiritual level yang bila kita kata masuk Islamic Garden ni tadi kan, kita terus lentur ke apa ke kan, tak ada.
Saya tambah sikit. Yang saya nampak dari segi what I can see is kalau garden lah, Islamic garden macam kalau kita buat sesuatu development dan kita compensate dengan the amount of greenery yang perlu ada, that is more, I don't know. So you think about issue of
That's why I'm asking the research question. What is the issue actually when you want to explain? Is it the current garden is actually
Not Islamic.
Not to say Islamic because it's not dia merosakkan apa?
Akidah.
Dia destroy the alam because they are supposed to jaga. Macam you kata you give certain thing, you give another green, they give and you replace balik what you have taken. Adakah is that the issue that now because that's why we would like to establish a garden that really friendly or really belongs giving back to the community rather than
mana nak reduce energy consumption or
gitu.
isolation.
Tapi I rasa
Itu
yang
dah relate dengan
Arina punya ni actually masa Safwah Safwah masa mula-mula ni is actually Safwah wants to identify elements in Islamic Garden from Quran and Hadith, so she wants to gather all these elements so that the intention, the output is, for example, if there are a requirement for us to design an Islamic garden, so she has already provided the framework, so at least it can be used. Apart from only elements, you have to put intrinsic and extrinsic values, tangible and intangible values. So it has to be a full sets. But today, Safwah is only presenting for us only one element, which is plants in the garden.
I would say that rather than establish a contemporary, you are revisiting the so-called Islamic garden. So you revisit balik baru you dapat
Tanya balik.
is it Islamic or is it not? When you establish, meaning that
Sekarang
you
ni
dah
semua
identify a
cerita
few
pasal
things. Now you have to go and revisit. Is there any a real garden that's according to the Islamic teaching? I don't want to say Islamic garden, Islamic teaching, maksudnya Islamic principle. So revisit. Is there that's been promoted by the Western scholar? Alhamdulillah. Is it Islamic? Is it according to Islamic teaching or is it real? And then you back up by the Hadith and Quran to say, in the Quran you say that, but they are
That one macam more pada comparison lah
It's
maknanya.
not comparison. Dia try
You
to
tadi dalam you method, you mention about
assess the garden whether it really has that kind of principle.
Post occupancy evaluation.
sebab dalam method
Check
tadi kan, method tadi you buat atas tu discourse analysis kan. Okay, what do you mean by discourse analysis? Jadi in other words kan, you boleh kan restructure balik benda ni, in the sense that question balik betul ada Islamic garden. Bukan makna kita tak percaya, kita nak tanya balik, pastikan. Itu adalah manfaat. Kalau nak identify ni berlambat-lambat buku dah macam cerita dah identify. Tapi at the end tak ke mana pun. Kan? Jadi I mean you have to make something benefit daripada study ni. In the sense that orang cakap begini ni kan. Okay, our friend also talk about all this kind of stuff. There's no Islamic garden. Why we have Islamic garden dan sebagainya. Okay, fine. Why don't you make a research regarding is it have Islamic garden? You know?
Maybe talk about the section, level of section.
Why would it? You know?
Discussion tu tau, Safwah.
Safwah discussion
Section like
you have to
Yelah.
so benda ni kan kena tembak.
Sebab kalau ikut discussion ni, nanti study saya macam tak habis-habis.
Memang tak habis, but you
Memang lah orang buat PhD dia bukan mahu 3 hari. Kalau 3 hari
design talk about
kalau cari cerita tadi banyak benda yang tak ada jelas. Kalau kita tanya je, is there any Islamic architecture? Really, the definition pun tak boleh nak jawab sekali.
Architecture macam mana? Ada isu tak kat when it comes to
ada isu banyak orang
Islamic
tulis dah.
architecture?
Ada banyak
Bila
pantai.
kita talking about architecture, kita tak
Tajudin tu semua banyak pantai lah.
we want to say about Islamic architecture, but when we want to call it this, that's why the question is it a Muslim architecture? Is it
Islamic architecture.
is it the
Muslim
architect
dan Islamic
or is it the builders is the Muslim people? Then they consider that kind, not just this is Islam because it's white or it's square. No, is it Islamic is the things belong to the Muslim or by the Muslim or used by the something. We are looking at that rather than just buku is buku. No, we are talking about that's how we
sebab
define that.
kalau kita relate dengan Malay traditional house for example kan, Malay traditional house
Must be occupied by the Muslim or the Malay.
yes, in
done by
fact
the Malay.
before that before they build the house, they have to prepare the land. So they have to look at the land which is near to the river for water sources, food sources. And then before that kita sembahyang hajat dulu, we do for prayer. And then kita tengok arah matahari, so that senang kita nak solat, tak adalah kita kiblat kita, tak adalah kita sengit pula. So jadi rumah zaman dulu semua tegak sebab rumah tu yang ikut kiblat. Kita sekarang ni sejadah tu yang ikut kiblat. So those are the differences. Malay so kenapa kita kata Malay architecture, kita tak panggil Islamic architecture. Gitu. Macam mana?
Orang lain tak Islam. Orang lain is not a Muslim.
Dia tu you punya ni very literal lah. Reporting. Because PhD dia bukannya reporting, question itu.
This is good nanti.
Dan you punya level sekarang ni, you have to question back. Sekarang ni orang banyak cerita bisik-bisik semua kan.
You
Sekarang I
have to
nak prove.
contest. You have
I
to
nak prove
contest.
bahawa Islamic garden ni ada. Macam gaya.
And it's just next to you.
Contohnya. Kan?
Ya,
At the end, okay, kau ingat kita udah cantik dah.
Tu yang tengah-tengah tu kan.
Contoh.
Can we call that an Islamic garden?
Kan? Jadi sebab apa kalau kita nak kata term ni kan? Kalau kita tengok kan, Islamic garden dan Islamic architecture, you know, within that time is performed by all this bourgeois society within the Islamic punya country. And then kita tak tahu lagi macam mana orang ni pemerintahan, ada yang kejam dan sebagainya.
Adakah consider Islam? Satu kan?
And satu lagi, kalau kita kata Islamic garden is basically square kan?
No, it's
Square. Sebab apa dia jadi macam tu? Because in dia punya Mediterranean countries, flat. Bukan, dia susah nak dapatkan flat land because it is undulating semua kan. So jadi bila dia dapat flat land, they build a garden and they don't have water sources. So water comes dalam bentuk water channel. Sebab tu garden dia kena ikut dia punya geometric pattern tu. Because of the irrigation system. Sebab dia tak dapat hujan macam kita. So jadi that's why dia kena ikut grid system because of the irrigation to itself. Sebab tu dia buat benda semua dalam bentuk apa nama? Geometry. Balance sebab dia, because correct me if I'm wrong here, because this is about your country. I believe when we went through readings, the idea of geometric garden in some of the Islamic, so-called Islamic entitled gardens. So these places, they used to have water scarcity. So they need to do an irrigation which is from overseas. Maybe they have to bring the water from overseas into the garden area to the palace. So that's why it has to be in grid system. Do you have any other reason behind that?
No, I have to make more study about it. Yeah, I don't want to comment. But talk about the water. The water is available there. Yes, from the river usually.
The river.
We don't use the sea water. We use the river water. Yeah, that's why the palaces that are popular, because water is available there. It's available there. We're talking about water. Yes, the water is available there because that's why, especially in the Mesopotamian area, because the two rivers that come from Syria, Turkey, and all the way down to the south. That's why not talking about the Medina, that was more distant, but talking about Mesopotamian, Iraq, and Syria, is full of rivers. So that's why the garden concept of gardens, our Islamic garden, I say, was popular. But it's not only because of Islam. Because before Islam was also established. The gardens were available.
Actually, they have some influence also.
Before, when they used to pray the moon and the sun, it was available there.
And also with the English garden. Also almost the same. Also,
but then I would like to question if let's say you say before Islam. What do you mean before Islam? Because Adam, our prophet Adam,
kalau if you say that the garden, if you take the Persian garden, they start from the Sassanid. They are not Muslim. So when the Muslim conquer that country, they just what they call it, they salvage and they use whatever the technology has been done. They establish as what they call it, Muslim garden, Islamic garden. But actually the technology was carried forward before the civilization.
Arab were not Muslim also. But Islam came to that region also. Arab were praying for statues and everything. From Ibrahim, Islam, everything.
Yes.
So there was no Islam at that time till the Prophet Mohamed come here.
Nabi Adam was actually Islam. So Ibrahim.
I'm not really what they call very rich in information about this stuff.
It's okay. But what I mean here is that because our forefather, Nabi Adam, Prophet alaihi salam, he came from Jannah. You see, from heaven. So that's why the idea of heaven is already in us. So no matter whether it is during Islam or during not during Islam, zaman Fir'aun apa semua tu, but then the idea of garden is already biologically embedded in human being. So that's why the idea is that maybe what we are talking here is how Islamic garden is Islamic. So if let's say we are talking about, I'm giving example, Taj Mahal just now. So how Islamic is Taj Mahal?
And Taj Mahal is not a mosque.
But because nowadays in Western scholars, those are the things that we refer to as Islamic gardens. But now there's no Muslim came forefront and say that was wrong and argue. That's what we are talking here. We need to go in front. We need to go to the frontiers and say that was wrong. Maybe it was correct at their time, but in the modern days when we are exposed to more literatures, exposed to more understanding, so we want to contest and we want to revisit the ideology.
That's why we have to revisit the Western scholar ideology about this.
You mentioned about apa contemporary Islamic garden kan. Jadi maknanya contemporary Islamic dia tak ada based on Arabic ke apa semua dah.
But on the culture.
On the existing lah, not the context. Itu saja. Ataupun you talking about establish contemporary garden based on Quran. Yang nak sebut Islamic.
So term Islamic garden tu
I minta dimasukkan China dulu kan. So China was established earlier because zaman even during the Prophet lagi dia dah Hansa, dah Zian tu kan. you tak masuk sebab itu pun boleh jadikan satu return you sebagai reference. Kenapa nak ambil Spain, nak ambil Afghanistan, Pakistan.
Oh.
Yet China pun dah establish the garden di situ.
Tapi dia buat cara
Dia orang ke China
Itu actually saya dah discuss dengan Dr. Yazid. Saya cakap saya nak ambil sebab agama lain pun dia percaya paradise tu. Ada paradise garden macam English, Japanese, Chinese. Tapi doktor cakap yang tu dah jadi macam tajuk lain sebab yang ni yang well known Islamic. Yang well known, orang dah tahu dia sebagai Islamic garden.
Kata kalau you kena cakap it is under UNESCO list. So you tak boleh cakap well known tau. Kata according to UNESCO list 2016, these are the
recognized Islamic garden. But this is recognized by this body. And then baru you revisit balik. This is by the Western punya judgement, the Western punya criteria.
Yang tu bahaya tu.
You nak kena check balik.
Sebab tu kalau Dr. Su kata you kena masukkan Chinese garden in China. Tak boleh lah sebab tak masuk dalam UNESCO list.
Kalau masuk,
this straightforward. This straightforward.
You tak nampak kalau dia satu katakan talking about Nusantara Garden.
Mana dia? Kat Jawa ke?
Islamic Nusantara. Tak nampak? Yang kita pergi sibuk, tak habis-habis ngarap, jam makan, ni apa hal?
Kalau you tengok Jawa,
Kalau dekat Nusantara mana sih Islamic garden contohnya?
Contohnya kalau
Jadi kita kena cari dah di Jawa ke
Jogja,
Aceh.
Taman Sari, ada ke
Aceh
dia?
ke?
Ada ke tak?
Taman Abi tu Taman Sari, Jogja.
Air tu.
Taman Sari tu pun it's a royal palace juga. It's a royal palace.
Tempat dayang-dayang mandi semua raja nak tengok.
Dia punya
mana
pool
yang seksi.
yang pool tengah
Apa Islamic?
Satu gundik-gundik mandi.
Islam punya kerajaan.
Raja duduk kat atas tu tengok malam ni cok hot tu.
Katanya Islamic, dia orang ni kaya kan.
Tapi sebenarnya tapi kalau ikut Indonesian punya heritage list, that garden is under Islamic garden.
Katanya.
Dia tak masuk.
Tapi sebenarnya tak.
Sebab apa yang patung-patung kan.
Doktornya master punya. Ni master punya dulu. PhD tengah working lagi.
Because I takut apa you.
Bukan,
tinggal nanti benda.
I think macam ni, since you are upgrading your masters to PhD, this discussion is just right on time for you to revisit balik your master's thesis tu and then what to add on for your PhD. So that's what we are discussing here. So take it positively and we want to, kita nak cakap ni because sometimes when you sit alone, you tak keluar benda tu because you are so busy with your literature review, so you don't have time to really think about whether this is right or there are other ways which is more appropriate. So this is what we're doing today lah.
Lagi you jangan ambil satu hala. That's why for example this is ni kan. Nak cari supervisor pun tak boleh juga. Dia kena dapatkan daripada semua. Kan?
Yalah macam my
yang tak ada
Lepas itu kita supervisor dia pun director je.
Yalah macam my plan.
Tengok sini, tengok sini.
That's why dalam tips of PhD, you have to guide supervisor with your topic. But your supervisor guide you how to proceed with your thesis writing. You own the topic. You defend your topic. You contest the issue. So you. Nampak tak?
Yalah, untuk plan for PhD memang saya akan study yang Paradise Garden lain tu lagi sebab dari situ saya lagi nampak overall punya.
Sebab saya tengok kat sini satu you nak establish satu. Kedua you talking about contemporary Islamic garden.
Itu pun dah very debatable. So
contemporary Islamic garden kan. Bila sebut contemporary garden ni dah jadi Islamic yang lama pun dah lain lah. Dia cerita contemporary. Satu lagi on Quranic. Quran Quran. Hai Allah.
I actually don't get the opportunity to your research. But like her now, she can get many comments on
it's actually for you to open up your thinking.
Tengok balik.
You don't have to answer, you just have to.
You don't have to answer. And in fact, we are talking to each other.
Especially at this level, it's still in the beginning.
It's very good. Yeah, this is just the right time for you.
Baru kan?
I will have to present this.
Baru ni.
Yeah, after because she has already convert to PhD, so she has
Baru
to
sem
reorganize. Dia dapat master 2 orang kami dapat. Arina dengan Safwah.
Dapat convert.
Dapat convert.
Atas rasa apa?
Dia kena buat presentation semua.
dia kena berbeza lah master dengan PhD punya. Tapi dia tak adalah suruh present
Maknanya
detail.
extension lah. Master terus PhD.
Ya. Jadi peringkat ni cantik lah untuk dia tengok balik the strength.
Saya rasa macam ni lah. I mean, kita ni betul lah kan. Di satu you pun tak ada exposure. Kan? Macam Nadila dia cakap tu dia pernah pergi Iran. Kan? Kita cakap ni kita pernah pergi Samakan. Kita tengok ni kan. Jadi rasanya kita ni kan, kita nowhere. Jadi, okay, kita nak position kat mana? Kan? Okay, jadi kalau kita kena make sure tu. Kalau kita kata contemporary Islamic garden tu, apa kita faham tentang Islamic garden? Contemporary ni maknanya dia tak ada pakai yang lama tu. Dia pakai the current situation. It's very trendy kind of way. Kan? On Islamic study. Kan? And then nanti satu, kita nak ambil surah. Kalau kita ambil surah, kita kena clearkan surah dulu. Kan? Dapatkan daripada apa nama ni tafsir dan tanya Dr. Zazan tu. Kan? Dia kena interview dia. Kan? Apa Dr. faham tentang surah ni?
Yang ni memang akan di-validate. Saya kumpul dulu, saya collect and then nanti validate dengan aspek. Yalah sebab saya pun tak mampu nak ni sendiri.
Sebab kita kena ada ilmu tafsir. Bila kita kata pasal surah kan, because this is academic. Kalau setakat cakap jadi ceramah tu kita lain lah. Sebab benda ni apa macam ni?
Dia tahu. Sebab tu kalau dia minta misal nak tunggu dia tak larat. Dia minta dia punya adalah nak murid dia tapi tak dapat murid dia. Kalau dia tahu
You interview lah.
Interview.
Siapa Dr. cakap?
Sebab tu kita researcher, kita tak boleh depends on kita dan buku saja. You need to talk to these people. Takut nanti tersalah nanti.
Yeah.
Na'udzubillah. Salah buat city planning tak pula.
Tanya kan, you pernah tengok buku Tajuk Muluk?
Siapa boleh baca Tajuk Muluk memang respect lah.
Maka kita satu hari
Ustaz Asal Latin pun dah berani.
Ustaz Asal Latin.
Itu pernah tengok.
Hamzah Fansuri je kan?
Hamzah Fansuri.
Nuruddin.
Cuma I rasa macam ni lah. I think because the issue why you need to study this, I think we relate to us as Islamic country. So we declare Malaysia is an Islamic country. Itu number one. But then from there we focus to landscape architecture field. And then we evaluate, are we doing gardens in according to Islamic garden, Islamic principles. And then people will ask, what are the Islamic principles for Islamic garden? And then that's what you are providing, so that people can be assisted in developing and creating Islamic garden in Malaysia, in relation to Malaysia as an Islamic countries. But then when it comes to guidelines and principles for Islamic garden in Malaysia, then you cannot just go only on elements. It has to start. Kita pergi balik pada traditional architectural principles. You have to start even before the garden is established. Clearing the land, a prayer to Allah, and then looking at the Qiblah, and then the ablution, so that easy for people to pray. And then when people comes to the garden, it has to reflect the greatness of Allah. So in that case, the human built elements should be lower down, so that all the natural creation by Allah are the things that is dominating the garden, which is we are doing things contradictory at the moment. Nampak tak kan? We build structures, we build monuments, we spend money, we don't want to plant trees. See? We don't want to plant trees.
I pergi Palestin. Al-Aqsa. The whole compound tu is a garden. Dalam tu je. Katakan sini Masjid Al-Aqsa tu. Ni semua ni garden ni. Sini dah kat sini orang semayang, orang ngaji semua. Dia bukan ada infrastructure tu tau. Dia buat macam split level.
It's a plaza, open plaza.
Courtyard tapi dia macam tu lah kan. Jadi okey, dia orang duduk situ apa semua, yang perempuan duduk sini apa semua. Kan dengan itu pokok zaitun. Itu saja. You see? Because the suasana ada kam situ Islamic kan?
If we go to Imam Mosque, Isfahan, we go to Imam Mosque. So when you enter the mosque area, you will see very huge open space with fountain in the middle. And then you have to walk around 10 minutes, then only you can go into the mosque, the blue mosque. And on the right side is actually they call it educational area. So in that, so they have archway, you go into that place and they have cubicles, segmented cubicles. So you have guru, you have your teacher, and then you have student in each of cubicle, but they only have wall to separate the cubicle, but in front is open. So that's a place where they learn Quran, they learn hadith and whatnot. So one student with one teacher. That's why kalau kita kata pakar hadis, you kena berguru dengan siapa? Who is your teacher? Nampak tak? And kan, you habis dengan siapa? You tak boleh macam kita ni, teacher kita, our teachers, our references, we have 500 references. Who are your teacher? Google Map, Google Scholar is our teacher. See? But not in Islam. If you want to finish, kita kata apa? Hadis, pakar hadis kan? If you are hadis specialist, who's your teacher? Yusuf Al-Qardawi kah? Kan? Siapa lagi pakar-pakar hadis tu yang nama-nama yang hebat tu? And one-to-one basis. One-to-one. Pagi sampai malam you duduk berguru dengan dia. Kan? And they have cubicle. And in the middle is a garden with the pomegranate, with the pokok-pokok
Pokok-pokok ni? Pokok-pokok yang di setiap kita cerita.
Ada dalam Quran tu. Yes, you have date palms, you have olive, yang wangi-wangi, ada apa? So that in the middle is that garden. So it's a square. And there's one open square for you to do gathering, and the other one is very passive for you to learn one to one. So is that the real Islamic garden?
So you mean here is a place for activity also. It's a place for activity.
Yeah, but passive.
For teaching,
Yes,
for
learning.
sharing,
Yes.
like that. It's not
But,
only for garden only.
Yes. It is in the garden setting. It is in the garden setting. So it's not in the classroom like what we are having now. So in the classroom, it's open in the garden. But for example, like kita punya rack ni, so you have one cubicle for each student and the kita panggil apa? Teacher kita panggil apa? Sufi, cik guru dia. So one ni will sit there.
Itu konsep dia konsep wakaf juga.
Wakaf.
Kita wakaf.
Tapi kita wakaf kita guna kat rumah padi, rumah padi,
translation berarti kan. Sebenarnya wakaf tu, ini kalau kita sekolah pondok.
Sekolah pondok used to be like that. Ada wakaf.
Kalau pondok sebenarnya wakaf lah.
But then one student with one guru in that pondok. And then you have
dia
to
belajar daripada lutut ke lutut.
Lutut ke lutut. That the closeness.
Bukan nak dapatkan dia punya apa nama tadi?
Barakah
dia.
Barakah.
Sekarang kita tak ada. Kita daripada TV ke TV. Kan?
We learn from TV,
Dia tak
we
ada
learn from
barakah.
Google Scholar.
Dia Mekah lebih.
So these are the things we have to revisit, and it's good to do it in your thesis. To revisit
Kita
all
cari
this.
yang benda yang berfaedah sikit. Faedah ni maknanya sekarang ni you mempersoalkan balik. Ada ke Islamic garden ni? Contohnya kan, as a beginning. Kan? Okay, maknanya you pun mulalah mengkaji sini, and then bawa kepada alam Nusantara tu lah kan, tempat kita ni. Kan? At the end besok dia katakan Islamic garden ni sebenarnya kan di mana-mana saja. Contohnya.
It would be better if let's say we have your principles, your framework from your thesis, and later we can bring the findings and we can go to Japanese garden. Katalah pergi kat surau.
Pokoknya ada similarity.
You go to kat surau and you can see that Allah is here. But you didn't worship Allah, you worship something else. But this is already a garden that is created by Allah for you. It's just the ideology. So you can bring the principles to Katsura so that they know what they're doing now is wrong. But still, Allah loves everybody. Ya Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, they give you the garden. Allah gives you the garden.
Jadi at the end kan, yang real besok adalah surah tu.
Yalah dia dapat pada surah.
Itu sebenarnya real. Yang lain ni cuma Orang kata, okay, it's something yang tangible, yang orang kata boleh jadi, boleh tak jadi, apa ke semua. Tapi yang kita pegang adalah surah sendiri. Jadi surah ni yang kita harus kita praktikkan dan kita fahami dan sebagainya. Itu sebabnya orang baca Quran pun dia suruh baca mana tu. Kan? Dan kita kena apply. Itu cerita dia. Kan? You nak apply di mana, bentuk apa, siapa pun tak tanya. Lantar jadi apa. Kan?
So that I think because when we have this, what we want is actually your thesis is dakwah. When people read your thesis, katakanlah if I have your thesis and I read it in kat surah garden. Okay, so the principles from Quran says that Allah created garden in Jannah with lots of green, with lots of trees, fruits, and then I'm a Japanese and then I look at my garden. You see, I have all these elements. The only difference is that I didn't worship Allah, I worship something else in kat surah garden. So that will actually initiate a spiritual awakening. Am I doing the right thing? So that's what you should do in your thesis. Your thesis is dakwah. So that everybody, whoever gets your thesis, bring your thesis and look at what they have, and they will rethink about their, kita kata apa, dia punya religion status lah, whether they are Muslim or they are not Muslim. Macam tu. You need to have that
So
spirit.
dia lah. Kita bukan nak paksa. Tapi dengan adanya benda yang kita buat tadi, secara tak langsung kan, dia membawa kepada sesuatu yang boleh dipikir balik untuk diri dia. Kan? Oh, maknanya yang ni lagi interesting. To me, when I read your thesis, kan, with all the words that you put, semua kan, bahasa-bahasa semua kan, actually I can feel that the whole thesis is a kind of garden range. Kan, jadi I boleh apply kesukaan I nak buat ke tak nak buat, kalau I nak buat ambil sebahagiannya, ambil 2 elemen je nak buat, dah tahu. Kan, because I know already from your thesis, because you dah elaborate macam. Itu. Kan, jadi apa-apa yang dah ada ni, just tengok, itu melancong. Melancong. Kan, tengok ni. That's not the important thing.
You dah establish lah your research question kan.
Tapi untuk PhD kena upgrade lagi ni.
Selagi you tak jawab soalan tanya tu, selagi tu I tak berapa based on issues. Why you really want to do this tu je.
Issue.
You have a strong justification why you want to do this, and then become your objective. Kalau tak, fine. What's wrong with the current one? Why you have to establish things? So you have to find the issues why you really want to revisit what so-called how important is the Western has coined the Islamic garden as this kan. So you nak revisit it.
Because we have to contest these Western scholars. They have been turning our ideology, turning whatever understanding we have in Quran into something that is very materialistic. So we have to stop them. And this is the effort that we put. At least we have Islam, someone who
Dan even Islamic garden pun ramai Western scholar yang
interpretation.
Among 20 scholars, among 20 definition, they say that 18 out of the 20 definition of Islamic garden is were defined by the Western scholar. It's not.
You have to give names and the years.
You can have and the years how they derive that, because most of the texts that we read are derived or developed by the non-Muslim.
Because this is for our future generations,
All of us, we will start with that Western thinking and ideology.
How about in Bangladesh, Naim?
No reference at all.
Islamic garden. No Islamic garden at all. Mughal garden. Also, so much in Bangladesh. Everything has been very because you know why? Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, we have been under English colonial. So this colonial ideology has been into us, and they changed the way we think and the way we do things, and we become a very materialistic community. Which we shouldn't be that way.
Have you ever think this? Pulasan, you know what is pulasan? Because you have to twist.
Okay tak? You okay? Cukup tak?
Thank you,
It's
Doktor.
right, because you cannot
After
buy,
this,
but
kalau
you
apa-apa saya nak ni, saya tanya.
This is not like
Oh, you
burning
love
flat,
steel.
you have to twin
Doktor
that.
kan
Yeah.
course,
Supervisor kan?
course saya.
Cameron Highland.
Cameron Highland.
Yeah, it's
Bahasa kelembutan, but it's a little bit, it's a tone.
Tapi bagus lah. Something for you, you duduk seorang buat.
Sebab kadang-kadang jumpa Dr. Yazid, thinking dia benda yang sama je. Macam
Lagi satu, kalau Dr. Yazid kata based on TRGS tu
Is it?
boleh, tapi jangan ni sangat.
jangan terikat.
Salam, I dekat bilik seminar. You kat mana?
You don't know how to twist.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll be in my room lah. I'll be in my room. Okay, right, okay. Okay,
It's
alright.
upon what?
Dr. Su, tolong I sign ni. So, Naim, thank you so much. Ida, thank you so much.
Ada chop nak?
Tak payah chop, sign je.
Sorry, I was busy. A little bit slow.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You can enjoy the food. Enjoy the fruit.